What's up guys, my name's Dychronic, you're here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about how to level up as fast as possible, as much as possible, as efficiently as possible to get to 650 power. In this video I'll be highlighting a whole bunch of things, mostly kind of a two-part video. First off, describing all the different powerful wards that I can think of from Forsaken and Black Armory, and then the second part I'm talking about a very unique strategy called spiking, which a lot of people don't seem to understand, or at the very least don't seem to incorporate in their strategy. And this strategy can definitely mean the difference between being a 624 and a 644 on raid day, so make sure you pay attention to that part. So as a preface to this video, I'm just going to say that this is going to be a video to show you the best and the fastest possible way to maximum power. I know this does ruin the game for a lot of people, and if you do not want to do that, you just don't have to do that. But this video is for the people that want to solve the puzzle, solving the puzzle of what's the best and the fastest possible way to get all the way up as fast as possible for the next time we're doing raids, or the next time the next raid comes out, or anything that is a high level activity, or if you want to get ready for Iron Banner, this is going to be your ultimate guide. Something you should know is not all powerful rewards are created equally. Some of them drop at much higher than other ones depending on the level of the activity. So if the level of activity is much higher than you and it is a much higher activity compared to another one, that one will always drop better gear. So if you're doing a 580 activity as a 570, those rewards are going to be really good. But the 580 activities will also always drop a better powerful reward than any 520 activity. So this is very important to keep in mind. For example, the raids are almost always the highest and most difficult activities, and they will always drop the best gear because of this. I believe there's also medium powerful rewards and everything in between. For example, Nightfall's a 540 guaranteed activity, whereas some other ones are going to be 500, 520 kind of activities. So different ones are kind of medium in the middle. And as a last note on the preface, a lot of people in these videos, almost every single time they go, what do I do if I don't do raids? Firstly, I would highly recommend that you do raids. Not a lot of people do as many raids as they should. A lot of people are a little afraid of trying to find certain people, having to deal with bad people or new people, but you really ought to give it more chances, because the raids are such significantly more powerful drops than everything else around them. It is very powerful for you, and it is incredible content. If you are not playing raids, you are missing out on the best content in Destiny 2. And on top of that, you don't always have to finish the raid. If you can get through the first two encounters, you get big powerful drops. For example, Last Wish, if you're 550, 560, you can get through the first two encounters. They're not really that hard at that level. But for those people who really don't want to do the raids, just don't do them. There's so many other powerful rewards you can do, you'll just be going a little slower than everybody else. Anyways, I'm going to move on to the video on screen now. There'll be a bunch of fluffers for those who have watched the preface and didn't just skip to the part where I start talking about powerful rewards. I want to thank you guys for actually watching the preface and watching this video. And of course, let me know in the comments down below if there's some things that I did miss. I want to make sure I cover as much as possible, and check the comments down below as well as a kind of little forum section of the people who do mention things that I do not. Now, I'm not going to be mentioning every single little thing. I'm going to be trying to be brief and not ranty. But of course, leave those down there if you want to see more information. It will be down there. So the first thing I want to do is talk about all the different powerful rewards I do know about, talk to them very briefly. If you have questions, leave them down in the comments down below. First off, we've got 4 different dailies from Strike, Gambit, Crucible, and the Flashpoint location Adventure. We also have things like Flashpoint on that particular planet for powerful rewards. In the Vanguard section, we've got heroic story missions, we've got strikes, we've got nightfalls, and 100k. One little tip there is do your nightfall before the 100k so that you don't have two things dropping at the same power level. It's so that you can have one affecting the other. You also have the Gambit powerful reward for the weekly, as well as the Crucible one for its weekly for the 5 Crucible. There's also going to be a powerful reward from Spider every single week, so pick up his powerful reward bounty every time you go to the Tangled Shore. Pick that up. In the Dreaming City, there's a whole slew of different powerful rewards, from the Ascendant Challenge to doing 8 dailies to doing the Blind Well Tier 4. If you did not know, Blind Well Tier 4, the first time you do it is powerful reward, even if the Gateway quest isn't. There's also the Vendor Challenge on Petra, which you'd have to do 2 of her weeklies, which is the Ascendant Challenge and the Blind Well, and that will give you powerful reward. And also in that same section, you have the powerful reward mission, which is going to be things like Oracle Engine, 1 every week. Outside of that, if it is the strongest curse week, which will be next week as of this video, you can also do Shattered Throne, a very powerful activity. A 580, 590 activity will give you some of the most powerful ones in the game, pretty much the same power as the Last Wish raid, which makes it very powerful, and you get like 3 or 4 of them in there, so make sure you go do them. And the last thing in the Dreaming City is obviously going to be the Last Wish raid, which is some of the best powerful drops, anywhere from 560 to 580, 590 at the last thing, which will get the best kind of rewards, which is great for spiking. Moving on into the tower, there's a couple of interesting ones, like for example from Ikora, she has her bounties. From Hawthorne, there's a ton of them. For example, the 5 5,000 XP from the clan different challenges, like doing crucible matches with the clan and stuff. There's going to be the raid challenge bounties in there as well. There's a ton from Hawthorne. On top of that, the Gambit Man also gives you powerful rewards. Do not miss him because he has literally a powerful reward bounty at the very top right there. Pick that one up and that is a powerful reward. On top of that, I believe sometimes they randomly drop so you can get extra powerful rewards for the Gambit bounties and stuff. Outside of that, pretty much every prime, engram, and exotic that does drop, even from exotic quests that are from year 2, will also drop as a powerful gear. So anytime you complete that chaperone or you complete that malfeasance or any of the new ones as well, you'll also get powerful rewards. And pretty much every time you get a prime engram, make sure you head over to the tower, decrypt that so you can get that immediately because it is locked at whatever power it drops at. Next up, let's talk about Black Armory very quickly. There's not a lot of them. I do believe the first time you complete each specific weapon frame, so if it says like powerful sniper rifle, powerful auto rifle, if it is the first time you complete it and it says powerful in the name, that will be a powerful reward. And on top of that, if you do 2 frames in a specific week, any of those main 2 frames, not the research frames, Ada also has a vendor challenge on her for 2 of those that will also give you a powerful reward. And of course, the last thing is going to be the new Scourge of the Past raid, which is going to be the most powerful rewards in the game right now. Because the activity is 640 to 645, you're going to be dropping very powerful rewards in that activity. Other than that, there's really not too many other powerful rewards. I know I'm missing a few of them. For example, ranking up your Crucible or ranking up your Gambit, Infamy rank, I believe also might give you powerful rewards or resetting it, but those are the kind of things that take very long time and are not something very reliable. So in the second part of this video, I wanted to talk about my strategy, which I call spiking. Now, I did not invent this strategy. A lot of people do use this strategy, but I found that most people don't even think about using this strategy, or they don't think that it's helpful. I think a lot of people these days, for some reason, somebody somewhere started sending out this rumor that you need to do your weakest powerful rewards first and then work up to the most powerful ones after that. Now, what I mean by spikes is that a couple of your different gear parts are going to be much higher than the gear around them. So let's say you got into a Last Wish raid and you got 3 different gun types, a kinetic, energy, and power weapon, and those are going to be much higher than all of your armor pieces. Now, you can spike pretty much anywhere. I'm just saying this for the sake of this argument. So having large spikes in your power level will mean the new powerful rewards that you get based on your average will be much higher than they were without the spikes. Meaning that if they do land on those particular valleys that are created from those power spikes, they're going to be so significantly higher if you did not have the spikes in the first place. For example, if you got a powerful reward when you have equalized gear, you get it like maybe 2 or 3 above that particular gear item, and it won't be as helpful. If you have 3 very large spikes on your guns, you're going to get anywhere from 5 to 10 levels higher on those armor pieces, which is incredible. So the first thing you're going to say is, well, what if those powerful gear land on those guns or land on those large powerful spikes? I do understand this does happen a lot and it is unfortunate. However, the advantages you get from having a higher power advantage and having those big valleys be filled in by the regular powerful rewards is so much more advantageous than the loss that you get from it landing on the spikes. And on top of that, it actually helps when you switch guns between characters, which is going to be the biggest and most important thing about this strategy. So the biggest strategy people are using these days is doing all the powerful rewards that you can possibly do on one character, and once you're finished, transfer those very powerful guns over to the next character, which they'll start with an advantage, which is actually just like spiking, by the way. When you start off with much higher guns than you would have normally, it allows them to get advantage when they're starting off their power ground, and they'll end up being higher than the previous character. And you do that across all 3 characters, and when you start the next week, you start on your 3rd character and zigzag back across towards the 1st. Now, this is actually a really common strategy. Now, let's take an example where if you were doing the regular strategy, where you start off with the regular powerful rewards first, and then you worked your way to the highest powerful rewards. If you ended with, let's say, a Last Wish raid, you're not going to be likely to have the best power weapons to transfer over to your next character. For example, if you have 3 drops, I know there's more than 3 drops, so if you have 3 drops, one of them landed in your weapons and the other 2 landed on your armor pieces, when you transfer your guns over, you didn't have the most power that you could possibly have. Now, if all 3 of them landed in your 3 different gun slots, then yes, technically that will be better for your next character, but it's not as likely. Now, if you were to do your Last Wish raid first, and then you equalize with a lot of the other powerful gear, when you finish off all your powerful gear, your guns and your armor are pretty much going to be equalized across the board, and you're guaranteed that your guns are going to be the most powerful that they can be. Either way, you're still getting the same average power increase on that particular character because of the armor, but you are also going to be able to transfer over those guns with confidence, knowing that they will be the best that they can be. And that's pretty much it. That is the general idea behind the spiking strategy, is you first want to spike as soon as possible, and then equalize, and then spike, and then equalize and spike, and then equalize, and make sure you finished equalizing by the time you switch over the guns to the next character. Now you can just do one big spike and then one equalize per character, but if you plan it out smart, you might be able to do multiple spikes and equalizes on the same character, and that should help more than ever. And that's it. That's the strategy. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully you filled in some gaps in your knowledge about powerful rewards. Hopefully you learned something about my spiking strategy. Hopefully spiking goes well for you in the future. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. I'd love to help out. I'd love to answer them. And if you have other strategies, also let me know. I'd love to know about some things that I have missed. But that's the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name is Dychronic, and I will see you guys on the next one.